Most men believe they know how to satisfy a woman. But here's the brutal truth. 99% of them fail without even realizing it. The worst part? They think they're doing well, and that's exactly why they are forgotten. Now, imagine this scenario. Two men get involved with the same woman. The first one does everything he believes is right. He puts in the effort, uses techniques, controls the rhythm. But the next day, he has already been erased from her mind. The second man, he didn't have to try as hard physically. He didn't follow any predictable script. Yet, for some reason, the woman can't stop thinking about him. Why does this happen? Because most men still don't understand what truly makes a woman feel desire. Female pleasure doesn't start in bed. It isn't activated by simple physical contact. It starts much earlier, in the mind. If you don't know how to trigger the right impulses before even touching her, everything else will be useless. But here's the good news. From now on, you're going to learn exactly how to awaken an uncontrollable desire in any woman. Let's get straight to the point. But before revealing what works, we first need to eliminate the 3 biggest mistakes that 99% of men make, the ones that completely kill female desire. The 3 mistakes that are destroying your sex life. Most men who believe they're good in bed are making at least one of these 3 fatal mistakes. Mistake number 1, thinking it's all about the physical aspect. Many men believe that just having endurance, knowing some positions, and controlling the speed of movement is enough to satisfy a woman. But female desire is not linear. It's not activated instantly like it is for a man. It has to be built up. And this happens long before getting into bed. A woman needs to feel connection, mystery, and anticipation. If you show up predictably, going straight for physical contact without creating tension first, you're killing desire before it even begins. Mistake number 2, being too predictable. Women crave novelty, surprise, and emotional intensity. If every intimate moment follows the exact same pattern, with the same gestures, the same sequence of movements, her brain loses interest. Desire needs variation. The absence of surprises makes any experience feel routine and lifeless. Here's something few men realize. Female desire is directly linked to the mind. If an experience doesn't offer something new, if there are no changes in rhythm, approach, or in the way you lead the situation, her mind automatically turns off its interest. Mistake number 3, ignoring a woman's timing. If you think female desire is instantaneous, you're making one of the biggest mistakes possible. A woman's body takes time to reach its peak level of arousal. The problem is that most men don't respect that time. There is a right rhythm, a precise timing that allows her body to respond intensely and naturally. When that timing is ignored, the moment feels artificial and disconnected. Now that we've eliminated the most common mistakes, let's get into what truly makes a man unforgettable in bed. How to create uncontrollable desire. Before even touching, her female desire doesn't start in bed. It starts much earlier, in the mind. If you understand how to activate the right triggers, you can make a woman feel an intense craving for you before any physical contact even happens. The first secret is anticipation. Many men think desire appears the moment physical touch begins. But in reality, what truly increases female arousal is the waiting. Desire is built through absence, suggestion, and mystery. Small gestures throughout the day create a natural tension that heightens excitement without her even realizing it. An unexpected message can ignite her imagination, but not just any message. It has to be something that intrigues her, that hints at something, without revealing too much. A lingering gaze at the right moment can create a spark she'll remember for hours. The second secret is unpredictability. The human brain reacts strongly to novelty, and the unexpected. If you always do things the same way, without surprises, without moments of suspense, desire fades. Small, unexpected actions, like whispering softly in her ear at a random moment or gently touching a different area than usual, can create waves of excitement that build over time. The third secret is nonverbal communication. Desire doesn't need to be expressed in words. The tone of your voice, the pauses between phrases, your breathing at key moments, these can trigger a woman's brain far more effectively than obvious phrases. When you learn to control your body language and convey intention without saying it directly, you create a natural tension that keeps a woman engaged. Now that you understand how to build desire before even touching her, let's move on to the next phase, exploring the most sensitive areas of a woman's body and how to stimulate them the right way. The pleasure map, forgotten hotspots that heighten arousal. Most men believe there are only 2 or 3 pleasure points on a woman's body. But what few realize is that there are highly sensitive zones that, when stimulated correctly, can unlock levels of pleasure most have never experienced. The inner arms, for example, are an area almost no one touches. But the skin there is filled with highly responsive nerve endings. A light touch with your fingertips or a soft brush of your lips can trigger an intense reaction. Another frequently overlooked area is the lower back. This region has a direct connection to the spinal cord, which means any stimulation there can send waves of pleasure through her entire body. The area just below the navel is also incredibly sensitive. Light touches with your fingertips or a gentle breath against the skin can generate an almost immediate response, awakening deep sensations. But it's not just about where you touch, it's about how you touch. If you move too quickly, it can feel mechanical. If your touch is too light, it may not activate the sensory receptors correctly. The secret is to alternate between intensity and gentleness, gradually increasing pressure as her body responds. Additionally, synchronizing your touch with a woman's breathing can intensify the experience even further. When a man learns to read the signals of a woman's body and adjust every movement based on her reactions, he becomes far more effective in providing pleasure. Now that you know the most sensitive areas of a woman's body, let's move on to an essential technique that can turn any experience into something unforgettable: the control of rhythm and pressure. Rhythm and pressure techniques. The secret to maximum pleasure. Most men believe that maintaining a constant rhythm is the key to satisfying a woman. This is one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to female pleasure. A woman's body does not respond the same way all the time. It needs variations, shifts in intensity, strategic pauses, and subtle adjustments that amplify excitement without her even realizing it. The first principle is alternating rhythms. When a touch or movement follows the same speed for too long, a woman's brain adapts and the excitement fades. The key to maximizing pleasure is variation. Start slowly, almost as if you're just exploring. Then, slightly increase the rhythm before slowing down again. This game of speeding up and slowing down keeps her body constantly on edge, craving more. The second principle is depth and pressure. There is a balance between intensity and softness. If a touch is too gentle all the time, it may feel uninvolved. If it's too intense all the time, it can become uncomfortable. The secret is in the variation. Begin with minimal pressure, then gradually increase it, always watching her body's reactions. Small adjustments can make an enormous difference in how pleasure is perceived. The third principle is the strategic use of pauses. A well-placed pause can be more powerful than any continuous movement. A woman's brain needs moments of suspense to keep desire high. When you pause for a second at the right moment, it creates anticipation that makes the next touch feel even more intense. The best lovers understand that the secret isn't in force or speed, but in the precision of rhythm and pressure control. Mastering this skill gives you the ability to create pleasure in ways that most people have never experienced. Now that you understand how to control rhythm and pressure, let's move on to an essential technique: how to know exactly what a woman wants without her saying a single word. The sensory communication technique: how to know exactly what she wants. One of the biggest challenges for men in bed is interpreting what their partner truly wants. Many times, a woman won't openly say exactly how she prefers to be touched, and this can create uncertainty. But her body gives all the necessary signals, and if you learn how to read these cues, you'll never be unsure again. The first step in understanding these signals is paying attention to micro-expressions. Female pleasure is not just expressed through words. Small facial movements, changes in breathing, and slight muscle contractions are involuntary responses that indicate what's working. A slight bite of her lips, a deeper breath, or a subtle shift of her hips are clear signs that you're on the right track. The second step is observing body tension. When something feels intensely pleasurable for a woman, her body reacts naturally. If a certain touch makes her tense her muscles, that's a sign of rising excitement. If, on the other hand, her body completely relaxes, it means she's surrendering to the moment. Learning to recognize these differences allows you to fine-tune your approach and amplify the experience. The third step is active feedback. Many men avoid asking questions or trying slight variations because they fear killing the mood. But when communication is done correctly, it enhances the connection rather than disrupting it. Small, subtle questions like, "Do you like it like this?" or "slower or faster," when said in the right tone, not only improve the experience but also increase intimacy between both partners. The key to understanding what a woman desires is learning to read and respond to her body. The more attention you pay to nonverbal cues, the better your ability will be to provide genuine pleasure. Now that you've learned how to interpret exactly what a woman wants, it's time to explore the final phase, the one that makes all the difference between a casual encounter and an unforgettable connection. The post-intimacy secret that makes her feel connected and addicted to you. Most men believe that after the orgasm, intimacy is over. This is one of the most common and damaging mistakes when it comes to deepening a connection. What happens in the minutes after pleasure determines whether a woman sees it as just another experience, or if she forms a deep emotional and physical bond with you. The first essential factor is a smooth transition. After climax, a woman's body remains in a state of extreme sensitivity. Many men make the mistake of pulling away too soon or abruptly changing their posture. This can break emotional intimacy and even create a subtle feeling of emptiness. The best way to avoid this is by maintaining physical contact, whether it's a soft touch, synchronized breathing, or a subtle movement that shows you're still present in the moment. The second factor is post-intimacy touch. Touching a woman after sex is crucial to prolonging the feeling of connection. Small gestures, like running your fingers lightly over her skin or holding her hand in a relaxed way, trigger the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This makes her associate that moment with well-being and deep pleasure, making the experience even more meaningful. The third factor is emotional communication. Many men underestimate the power of a simple phrase after intimacy. It doesn't have to be overly romantic or forced, but an authentic comment about the moment strengthens the bond. Saying something as simple as, "That was incredible," or "I love being with you like this," not only reinforces intimacy, but also makes a woman feel valued. The secret to becoming unforgettable isn't just in what happens before or during intimacy, but in what happens afterward. A man who understands how to maintain connection after sex is not only satisfying his partner, he's making her crave more moments with him. Now that you understand the power of post-intimacy connection, let's tackle one of the biggest male challenges: How to eliminate premature ejaculation and take full control of your performance. How to end premature ejaculation and control. Your performance, premature ejaculation is a problem more common than most men realize. But the good news is that there are proven techniques to overcome it. Most cases aren't just about physical causes, but rather how the brain reacts to stimulation. The secret to gaining total control over your performance comes down to 3 key principles. The first principle is mastering breath control. Few men know that breath control is directly linked to how long they last. When breathing is short and rapid, the body interprets this as a state of high arousal, which speeds up the ejaculation reflex. The solution? Training yourself to breathe slowly and deeply through the nose, exhaling in a controlled manner. This reduces body tension and extends endurance. The second principle is the stop and squeeze technique. This method is used by specialists in premature ejaculation treatment and follows a simple system. When a man feels he is about to ejaculate, he pauses stimulation for a few seconds and applies gentle pressure to the base of the penis. This reduces arousal momentarily and allows the session to continue with more control. The third principle is strengthening the pelvic floor muscles. Pelvic muscles directly control ejaculatory response. Strengthening them increases stamina and helps maintain control. Exercises like Kegels, contracting and relaxing these muscles, train the body to delay ejaculation, allowing for a more extended, more pleasurable experience. Premature ejaculation is not something you have to live with. With practice and consistency, any man can improve his performance and extend pleasure for both himself and his partner. Now that we've covered this essential topic, it's time to close the video with a powerful call to action and engagement strategy. Now that you've learned the secrets to triggering uncontrollable desire, mastering rhythm and pressure, understanding exactly what your partner wants, and controlling your performance, I want to hear from you. Which of these techniques stood out to you the most? Have you already tried any of them and noticed a difference? Or maybe you're curious to test one for the first time. Drop a comment below, because sharing experiences can be incredibly valuable for others who are looking to improve their intimate lives. If you made it this far, it means you're committed to evolving and refining your performance. But learning is just the first step. The next step is applying what you've learned and noticing the transformation in the way your partner responds to you. And if this video helped you in any way, don't forget to leave a like. This not only supports the channel, but also helps this content reach more people who can benefit from these insights. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming content, because we still have much more to share about improving your performance, deepening connections, and becoming an unforgettable lover. See you in the next video.